Hello, welcome to The Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. I'm joined by Mr. Dan Unsupervised for round 2 of the Titans of Ghur Tabletop Simulator Age of Sigmar Narrative event. Dan, how are you?
My body is ready, Rob. My body is ready.
Well, I hope, Dan, that you have got some garlic to hand and potentially some steaks, because it is getting absolutely deathly up in here. It's going to be creepy, it's going to be weird, and it's going to be odd. There's two armies facing off against each other who love the idea of eating a human soul. So let's get into it. I'm going straight to the table because they've already, they've already started. It's as simple as that, really.
Now, unfortunately, Rob, when you said that I needed garlic and steaks, I assumed that it was a Gargant-related cookout. So I rocked up with a whole lot of bloody meat, which, while probably what these two armies definitely want, it does make me a target, as it appears some people are already throwing shade about Stormcast by writing it on the table. This is a very aggressive table for me right now.
Yes, there's a lot of points being over here. Dan loves Stormcast. There's a lot of graffiti generally being done. Party over here at the all points. Okay, I get it. Okay, Flesh Eater Courts are going first, so we don't have much time in here to kind of go through the lists, but basically Dayton's bought a terrible Flesh Eater Courts list with a Gargant called Bud. That's the story. They're playing on... Dan, I don't know if you know this, but you know the film Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, where they're all they're running through the garden? That's what's happened here. These miniatures, these were giant monsters. They've been turned into tiny fellas, and they're playing in someone's backyard. I think is
Garden Hammer.
Yeah, Garden Hammer. Dayton has got a Flesh Eater Courts full of ghouls here, and this is his Mega Gargant, who's a gatebreaker called Bud. Up against him is a terrifying vampire army. We're going to go through the list in a minute, but there is another Mega Gargant called Lapis von Stein. So be cautious of him. And Flesh Eater Courts are going first. Is that right, Table Boss? I think that's what we said.
I believe yes.
Oh,
the Flesh Eater Courts were given. It was a very aggressive gift.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very, very aggressive. Dan, should we quickly fire through the list while we're waiting to see what happens?
Absolutely.
Because they're hilarious.
Amazing. Given that you and I were doing the pre-game read of the lists and having a chuckle, that's a good sign. It's
a very good sign. So the Flesh Eater Courts list has got an Abhorrent Art Regent, who's got Grave Robber, Gauntlet, and Deranged Transformation, an Abhorrent Ghoul King as well, and then he's obviously got Bud, the big Drog Fort Kicker, who's his allied Mega Gargant, and then he's got 20 Crypt Ghouls twice, and then he's got 6 Crypt Horrors, 9 Crypt Horrors, and the Chalice of Ushraran.
And he's in Hollowmourne. When was the last time you ever commentated on a game with Hollowmourne?
Not commentated on a game, but I played Owen recently with Smashback in Hollowmourn, which was a rough old time for me. But yeah, so that's interesting that, he's clearly not put the competitive choices in there, right?
They love running and charging. They're all about pace. They're basically just some speed demons just chasing a bit of that hustle and flow.
That's all they're looking for. Yeah, absolutely. There's also the next list. Sorry, he's playing against. Pietra is playing with a Soulblight list. That's right. His bloodline is Swift Death. Now he's got some pretty funny named characters. His Mega Gargant is called Lapis von Stein. He's got a Vampire Lord called Vain Goth. He's got a Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon called Vlad the Wimpaler, which is brilliant.
Yeah,
he's also got he's got a battle line. He's got 15 bloody necessary knights, 540 points in that unit. He's got
a hefty 540 points.
Yeah. He's got 3 Bachelor Vargeists and 3 Bachelorette Vargeists, and he's got an extra CP, but he's decided to call it a Blood Bag, is what he's decided to get. So that is what we're going to be seeing.
What I would really like to know is, and maybe we'll find out from our table boss, which side of the battlefield has the bachelorettes and which side of the battlefield has the bachelors, and will we see them come together at some point during this battle?
That's a great question. Dan, you've nailed it. This is what we're here for, this narrative Titans of Ghur event. Are we going to see this unit of Crypt Flayers meet up with their long-lost bachelorette Crypt Flayers over here, like the Ents and Kiss? Don't forget, Oh no, vampires, they're not under a delusion, are they? They definitely know what each other looks like.
Absolutely, and they just want to love, Rob. They just want to feel something. They want to know what love is. They want us to show them.
So
Uh,
if you guys haven't listened to the game before, this Titans of Ghur event is making each player take a Mega Gargant. The Mega Gargants don't get any allegiance abilities from their army. That's super important to take note of. So they're just pretty much in their pants. But they do have a bunch of goals unique to the Mega Gargant. You get 10 points for winning the battle plan. And we'll talk about this unique battle plan in a minute as we see those goals move forward. But the Gargant goals are all encompassing. They're really important. You've got to do mortal wounds on the charge. That gets you a Gargant goal. You've not got to die. That means you don't lose any points, because that's a pretty rough one if you end up with that. You've got to try and kill wizards. That'll get you magical farts if you kill 5. You've got to try. You've got to try and stomp up and down on over 20 models. If you're a gatebreaker, you've got to try and destroy scenery. There's loads to do for these Gargant goals. It's super fun. You got any thoughts on those, Dan?
Yeah, and honestly, my thoughts are in two pieces. The first is that I love them, and it's kind of fun that the challenge builds up through there. But the part that I adore mostly is their names, because they've all got fantastic names. All of these objectives. I wish we could see names like this in regular match play. For instance, if you kill 5 enemy heroes with artifacts, you score yourself the Crystal Maybach Diamonds on your Timepiece achievement, which just as someone who loves games outside of this and loves hunting for achievements, I dig that. I also I don't know if we've let anyone know that there are 2 like penalty. There's always those achievements you can get that penalize you for getting them. One is Who Hired This Idiot, which is if your Mega Gargant dies on turn 1. And do you want to go through what the other penalty is, Rob? Because I feel like it's very near and dear to your heart.
So yeah, if you lose it on turn 1, also if you I'll never financially recover from this is also if your Mega Gargant dies in every battle, which is maybe going to happen. Yeah, maybe going to happen. So the two players that we've got here, we have Dayton and Petiar. Oh, I'm going to say it wrong. I'm so sorry. Like, that's not because your name's hard to pronounce. It's because I'm a moron. Let me just say it one more time. Pitari. Yeah, Jukaran and but close enough. There we go. So they're playing. Dayton's playing the Flesh Eater Courts. The Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, and the rest of the Soulblight Force is being played by Petiari. Oh my god, I don't know how to say it. Okay, we're seeing 10 ghouls be summoned on, and we're into the first turn for Flesh Eater Courts. Dan, we haven't talked about the battle plan. Should we talk about the battle plan?
Oh yeah, we should probably tell people what the biscuits are that we're playing for.
Yeah. After you, if you fancy it.
So the battle plan is called the Forest of Eyes, which is already creepy enough until you realize that the thing that we're fighting over is spiders.
Spiders,
so for me, very, very fun. So each of these objectives, effectively, it's similar to shifting objectives, where you roll to work out which is the primary objective. But the scoring is slightly different. So they're exclusive scoring. So if one of the objectives is scored, the others aren't. So first of all, if the primary objective is scored, that player gets 3 points. If no one scores the primary objective, so if it's uncontested, if it's tied, then whoever controls the most objectives scores the objective if the main isn't scored. And if no one controls more objectives, both players score 1 point. Otherwise, it's 3, 2, and 1. 3 for holding the main one, 2 if no one holds the main one, but you've got more objectives, and 1 if no one holds anything. But the kind of 2 little key pieces in there. First of all, is that the objective hates you. If you score the primary objective, everything within 2d6 can take mortal wounds. You roll 2 dice. If it's greater than the bravery of the units within 9 inches, they all take mortal wounds because the spiders come and bite you, which I like the objective. I like the idea of the objective despising the players. And the other one that's really fun is that it's only scored at the end of the battle round, not player turn.
Yeah, it's full of spiders. The objective is full of. I've tried to make it. I've done a little spider for you in the middle. It's full of spiders, and it will just throw all these evil realm spiders into your eyeballs, which is terrifying. Of course, no one wants that in their life. So yeah, that's the objective. So if you swamp it, then you might be in trouble. But this is quite a good kind of battle plan for death armies. Obviously, you've got some resurrection, you've got some summoning, you've got some healing available to these different armies. So I wonder where the grave sites are for the Soulblight Force. I don't know if they can even. Don't think they've even got anything in their army that's summonable, so they can't even use the grave sites.
Don't need to worry about it.
I was like, actually, does that even matter?
Yeah.
Now, we've seen the Flesh Eater Court summon on a unit of 10 ghouls, terrifying monsters in the Mortal Realms. I think, these Vargheists might be the bachelorettes that we're seeing in the list. But they've made an 11-inch charge from Deep Strike, from summoning on the board edge, to get into this combat right on the flank, right off the get-go.
You know what? They're obviously, they've given up on Tinder, and they're just going straight to the source. They were like, it's taking too long to find a lovely lady bat. Let's just dive right in. Again, would love to see the heartfelt romance of the bachelors and the bachelorettes coming together. That would be really nice.
It'd be really nice. There's also scoring at the end of the turn. So end of the battle round. How crazy is that? Yeah. So this the objective full of spiders, only guarded by the direwolves, who have guarded and won many an objective in the Mortal Realms over the years. They love a good sit around. They're like dogs, go sit there, off they go. But that's not going to be enough to stop that Mega Gargant. And look at that 540-point brick of Blood Knights.
I know.
Vampires trained in martial combat, weathered in necromantic energy, powered by the power of Nagash and the undead, ready to charge forward and delete maybe the earth. They're actually pretty good in the fight, Dan. I don't know if you've got any respect for them.
I have a massive amount of respect for them. There's a bloke in Australia named Deke who used to run a hefty unit of, like, I think he had a whole army of them, and the legit ones as well, which are some of the most expensive models in all of Warhammer. And they were beautiful. And I felt the pain of those things charging home a few times. So I can only imagine that this big old block of ghouls in the middle here is in for a bad time very soon. We've seen in we've seen in the top right all of those ghouls that had thrown themselves at the bachelorettes, either killed or then ran away.
Yes, they were too bold for this life. They charged forward thinking that these were their damsels, that they were going to go and have a merry time, and that this wasn't really a battle, but really a dance or a soiree. The Flesh Eater Court's thinking it's some sort of adventure in maybe a court, and unfortunately, the Vargheists were having none of it. Slew half of them, and the other half ran away, feeling like that they had been rejected from the chance to dance, and therefore we are in to Soulblight's turn 1. So we're into their hero phase here. So go on, Dan, after you.
Oh, I was going to say, so I think what, for me, I'm going to be really interested in here too is that idea of scoring at the end of the battle round means that suddenly the double turn, it's a turn off, right? Like, you don't want to be grabbing the double turn, because if you do that, you're putting yourself in a position to not score, because your opponent gets the last gasp before the scoring happens. I think even though it's not a strictly a match pay battle plan, I actually really like it for that.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's a super cool battle plan, and it's going to be really fun to see how this works, right? It's always interesting taking the mechanics of Age of Sigmar and putting it into a different kind of mechanic for scoring. However, we obviously are invested in the story as well today. That's what we're here for. And this is all taking place in the realm of Ghur, the realm of beasts. And because of that, there's a couple of things here. The command ability and the spell available from the realm of Ghur. One of them, which has just gone off, Wild Form, has gone on to the Blood Knights, which is going to give them +2 to charge. And the command ability, which is available, which is to allow monsters to fight at their top unbracketed damage profile is going to be really good on that Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. It's going to be pretty cool. But obviously, the main story here, the focus, is what Bud, the Gatebreaker, can do against Lapis von Stein, the other Gatebreaker. And they're kind of eyeballing each other right now, Dan. We discovered in the last match that Gatebreakers might not be particularly happy with ugly-looking models.
Well, these guys are... I was just about to say super quickly, while they might be using the Gatebreaker model, I believe both of them are not Stonebreakers. Stonebreakers.
Gatebreakers?
On a Big Drog Fort Kicker. He is a Gatebreaker, isn't he? I'm an idiot.
Never mind.
Ignore me. Ignore me. I smell toast. And my left side's gone numb. Ignore me. Oh dear, I'm very concerned for the Bachelorettes. I'm so worried about them because this doesn't look like a place where they're going to get to see out their days swiping right and meeting honeys. I think that they might not be long for this world if they get torn apart by spiders and a Mega Gargant.
I tell you what. Those ghouls are the bravest lads in the land, facing down 15 Blood Knights and a Mega Gargant who is going to smash them to pieces. So the Mega Gargant just rolled a 5, so he needs a 5 to charge in. That's what we're getting. Great table bossing, Matt. Love that shit. He's got a 5-inch charge that he's going to need to get into those guys, which is fun. Like you said, the Bachelorettes, they're potentially going to get murdered by spiders. The other Gatebreaker can fight back. Ooh, is this a ghoul screen? That's the real question.
Yeah, also, does he love? Like, is Mr. Bud the Gargant, like, is he going to be gentle and loving to those Vargeists? I would assume not. But I don't want to be deciding for him.
I don't want to be deciding for him either. No, I'm with you absolutely. I think the ghouls. Look at this, some aggressive play. Dan, we've seen this in the last game as well. It's something about playing in the realm of beasts. Like both of these forces, obviously from the realm of death, they're death armies. But something about the realm of beasts make people play very aggressively. There is no half and half in this situation. It's just anger. Just pure anger.
Just unbridled rage.
Maybe, because the Flesh Eater Courts don't listen to Nagash, do they? Their story is that they're not... he's like, do my bidding, and they're like, we are noble knights of the realm. We shan't listen to you, bony bad man.
I think they're he's a little bit weirded out by them, because technically they're not dead. I believe so. It's kind of like they're like, yes, hello, Nagash, blah, blah, blah. We're obviously death. And he's like, well, you guys aren't. You're not really. And they're like, yes, we are. Look at us. We're all such wonderful vassals of yours. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay. You guys can just hang around here. It's nice to have you. But no. Can we super quickly talk about what's about to happen here, Rob?
Please do.
Because we're talking about the 15 knights looking at these ghouls. Only 3 of these ghouls are ready for what's about to come. If we notice, the rest of them have already, they've just 86 themselves. They want to delta out of here. So I have a feeling that bad things are about to happen to them.
I think some very bad things are going to happen to them. We've seen the Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon actually already shoot into the ghouls and kill 6, which has been... pretty rough, and I think the Gatebreaker's just rode a rock as well. Gatebreaker continuing to prove to us that he really doesn't like ugly models. He loves throwing a rock. He sees the ugliest model on the board and he goes, I'm going to throw a rock right in that face.
Throw a rock at that.
Yeah. And then those Blood Knights, those 15 Blood Knights, 3 wounds apiece on a 4-up save, 45 wounds of Blood Knights. With their lance, they've got 3 attacks each. Hit on 3s, wound on 3s. They've got Rend 2. They've got Rend 1, and they do 1 damage. However, if this unit completed a charge this turn, which they just have, a big, long 9-inch bomb charge, their damage turns to D3, which is pretty rough. And they also get +1 to their save if they're fighting a unit that has no Rend, which those ghouls clearly don't. So they'll have a 3-up save against those guys. So yeah, Dan, we're looking at Um, 45 attacks,
Mm.
3s and 3s, rend 1, D3 damage.
Mm. And our table has suddenly rapidly undergone. We were clearly in winter, and then we went into the void, and then spring and summer. So the time of year change. That's what you all saw. It was definitely not someone messing around with the board itself, and it was definitely the seasonal changes of the mortal realms, which are fickle and also weird.
Very weird. Very weird. I tell you what, Ghul's famous for being armoured, covered in armour, some would argue, but not enough. They only, unfortunately, against that Ren 1, they're not going to have a good time. And that damage D3 is going to make short work of their 6-up armor save. So they're in some trouble. Let's put it that way.
Well, look, I mean, they look like they've got the numbers on their side. It's not by much, though.
Okay, so we're still in the charge phase. The Vampire Lord Zombie Dragon attempted to charge, and he failed it. He probably right now is like Vampire's jealous, and a lot of infighting happen in the Vampire ranks. Dan, I know you know that. He probably just wants to overlook the Blood Knights and make sure they're behaving. None of them got ideas above their station, right, and keep check of them.
Well, he is Vlad the Wimpaler, so it does make sense that he was like, "Go impale," and they're like, "Do you want to go?" And he was like, "Oh, nah,
I want to watch you impale. I'm scared. Yeah, because anyone could become a vampire, right? Just because you're a vampire, you don't have to become the most vicious, monstrous battle man in the world. You could be a pretty cowardly fella. Previously this fella could be, and this is no disrespect to bakers. I'm sure there are as many brave bakers as there are unbrave bakers, but maybe he was a particularly cowardly baker who became a vampire, and he's just pretending that he's good.
Yeah, no, I can see that. It's sad to hear. And in that case, he wouldn't be undead, Rob. He would be unbred. And I think we should just end the stream there. It's not getting any better.
Let's go home.
Just wrap it up and get out of here. That's the best that I'm going to be able to achieve.
We are just listening to... Oh, here we go. The Gatebreaker has charged as well. The Gatebreaker has smashed in and has gone into this unit of Crypt Horrors here. And on the charge, he's done 4 mortal wounds. Now, there is a special a Gargant goal where you want to roll 6 mortal wounds on the charge. And if you get that, you win a prize. You get a Gargant goal point. But unfortunately, he hasn't done that. He's going to want to do as much damage as he can with his stompy feet, Dan. Specifically because... Yeah, go on.
That would be coming in hot is 6 mortal wounds to a unit on the charge. And then the deal 6 mortal wounds to 2 units on the charge is came in like a wrecking ball. Which obviously is what we're going for there.
This Soulblight army is not messing around. Almost all of the army is in combat. In fact, actually, there is only the Wimp Paler who hasn't. Oh, and the 2 Vampire Lords there. Oh, there's one. There's a Vampire Lord.
It's very clearly it's management, Rob. It's upper management versus lower and middle management. They're just they're looking at everyone and they're going, no, you guys do this. This is you, and obviously pushing it onto them.
Okay, so into combat, the Blood Knights are swinging in first. Dan, this is like a red mist. Is what we're going to see here.
This the only time that I sort of miss the old Warhammer Fantasy version of where things could charge and overrun, because I don't even think they're going to feel the impact of these ghouls. They're just going to kind of run through and they'll evaporate as they hit them.
No, these ghouls are as likely to survive as a young 18-year-old soldier in World War I who's like, I'm going over the top. I can't wait to fight the Hun. Not likely to survive is the answer. It's true. He's not got long for this world, these ghouls, and they are going to be gone. Is there only going to be damage back from the flesh-eater corpse? Is a real question.
I think I would say possibly we'll see some crypt horrors scratch the gatebreaker, or maybe one of the crypt ghouls or the dire wolves against the bachelorettes or the bachelors.
So the horses have done pretty well. Oh, don't forget the horses have also got an attack as well in here, Dan.
Mm.
They've got I've lost it. So the horses killed 8. This doesn't bode well for our young ghouls, Dan.
No.
They're imagining that they're peasants, looking to battle. Oh dear. I don't know where.
Okay, but Rob, can we talk about what this means? We're probably going to see. It means we're probably going to see some crypt horrors smashing up some bachelors. We'll almost certainly see some big, meaty gargant on gargant action next turn. And
those gargants are eyeballing each other. Bud at the bottom right-hand corner against Lapis von Stein. Okay, so the Blood Knights have done 46 damage to the ghouls.
Now, how many wounds do ghouls have, Rob? 3 apiece?
They've just got. They're not. Hopefully, new battle tome. They'll get an extra wound a pop. But right now, unfortunately, just the one wound. Yeah.
Not quite doing it.
They have vanished like Sigmar's hammer when he accidentally threw it through a portal. Yeah, just gone without any hope of recovery. It's just absolutely disappeared. So that's pretty horrific. So they're gone. They're all dead again.
That was rough to see.
It was a tough time. But to be fair, that was just a battle line unit of ghouls. It's not the big hitting unit. The 2 big hitting units that we've got from Flesh Eater Courts is this unit of 6 crypt horrors. And where is the unit of 8 crypt horrors?
6 crypt horrors.
There's a unit of 9 as well, isn't there?
I believe 6 and 3.
No, that can't be.
Oh no, 6 and 9. 6 and 9. You are correct. 6 and 9.
Where's the 9? Where am I?
That is. Did he forget to deploy them?
Yeah, we should just ask him on.
Because
great question.
I don't. See...
There's only a 6. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Right.
Gonna...
Oh well.
Oh well.
That's.
There's a unit of 9 on the list.
He does have a 6 and a 9.
So he has a 6 and a 9. So just to double check, if you guys type exclamation mark list, you'll be able to see the lists in the chat.
The madness of the Flesh Eater Courts has led them to forget roughly 390 points of their own list, which oft times, as they are wont to do, can lead them down the garden path.
I'm just going to write it into the chat so people can even see that it's there. It's exclamation mark lists, although I will change it to also list. So that works. So you guys could see that. That'll work. Just see what they're probably going to just reorganize this, I think, because playing with nearly 500 points down is a smaller issue. And we'll see. Thank you, Obi Watts, for doing it. I was like, how's he going to fight back? He's lost a lot. And I was like, he would have lost a lot if not deploying 400 points. So there we go. I think we've just... Anyway.
Well, I think what happened is, in his list, he had a unit of 6 and a unit of 9, and instead he deployed a unit of 3 and a unit of 6. That appears to be what we're looking at, which is a bold strategy. I assume trying to lull your opponent into a sense of false superiority, and I'm excited to see how it goes.
I'm excited to see how he does. I'm not 100% certain it's going to go very well. I do wonder what he's going to be able to do to kick out these arms. Yeah, I agree. I've just changed the lists, so you guys hold on. Thankfully, they haven't played much, so it's not a major drama. Yeah.
Look, again, we are dealing with the madness of Flesh Eater Courts.
They could think that there's something else. You're right.
I was about to say, these crypt horrors are running around and imagining that they are probably, I don't know, crypt Freds. just a bunch of crypt Freds, which are scarier than crypt horrors because Mr. Flintstone was an intense man.
Mr. Tiga is right. It could be anything. You're right, Dan. They could be anything. Who cares? Because it's not important. Really, there's just 1,500 points of allies, and the true battle is just the two Mega Gargants. I'm trying to go through a bit of an emotional time today, Dan. I'm trying to I'm trying to build a bridge with Mega Gargants. I'm trying to get over my emotional reaction and my emotional kind of like feeling towards Mega Gargants. I'm trying to heal the rift of the Mega Gargants to see, hopefully, so that we become friends at the end of this. I'm not sure if that's ever actually going to happen, but we'll see. So far, last game, a Mega Gargant threw a rock. He killed one Bestigor and charged. The other one failed a charge and did no damage. So right now, I haven't... in a whole game, I've seen Mega Gargants do nothing. This game is going to change my mind.
Rob,
that's what we're going to see.
Rob, yeah? The fairy tale is dead.
What has happened?
If you would mind jumping to the other side of the board, the Bachelors are gone.
Oh, the Bachelors are gone.
Are no longer in paradise, Rob. It's turned from what was a dream, a romance. Now, in this... in Romeo and Juliet, as those who are fans of Shakespeare will remember, Romeo was the first to Gomeo, and then Juliet followed, and then of course Romeo woke up and he bromeoed himself again. So will we see these Juliets follow along with their fair Romeo? That's the question. That's what we need to know.
Yeah, they'll never be together again. And listen, whether the lists are right or not right, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it's a flesh-eating corpse player. We know for a fact that they can't count. They just need to go, have I got a CP? And then that's, they're happy where they are. Right, these aren't the only Mega Gargants battling the realm of plants. There's also another bunch of Mega Gargants battling all over. And to find out what's happening at the rest of the event, we're going to go over to the Mega Gargant of our hearts and the Giant of our pants, Mr. Owen Jackson. And he's going to tell us right now what's happening. Over to you, Owen.
Wow. What an intro. Don't think I can follow that up. Woo! Okay, well, yes, we're into round 2. We're playing the Forest of Eyes. If anybody wants to play this mission, it's from the Wrath of the Everchosen book. And yeah, it is surprisingly a good competitive choice. So, whilst you might not have seen the Mega Gargants do much yet in the stream games, there's one particular Mega Gargant which has had a great time in the first round. This is by one of the Finnish players called Jukka-Pekka Heikkinen. Now, he played against Pete in the last round, and whilst he lost on the mission, he did actually pick up more points because his Mega Gargant, the Dank Father, he was able to score, I need to wash my hands, boss. So he killed an enemy hero with the Death Grip. He got proper hard, so he finished on 18 or more wounds. Beastmaster, because he killed an enemy beast. He smashed 4 pieces of terrain, killed 3 things with boulders, and he killed 3 models by jumping up and down on them. So, there are, I think the true power and the way to win this tournament is to bring gits, which you don't hear very often. So yeah, good on you, Jukka. He's having a great time. A couple of solo awards. So there were 2 players who scored they were the only players to score a particular Gargant goal in the last round. So Dayton, who's on the stream now, this may bode well for him in this match actually, because he was the only one to score proper lucky. His Mega Gargant finished the game on 1 wound. So maybe he's a prized possession. Maybe he's a sort of he's a lucky charm. He's going to need a bit of luck actually to get out of that the situation he's in. And Colonel Cabbage on the stream in the last game, if anyone saw it, there was a little row of Warlocks and Wizards all lined up in a little row. So Colonel Cabbage was the only one to score Spelly Belly in the last round, where he killed 3 Wizards with his Mega Gargant. And we did have a couple of... They're having a great time, and I've actually come up with a prize for the tournament. We're going to have the Spoon of Ghur, crafted from the bones of a dead Mega Gargant. The wooden spoon is going to go to possibly either Peter Dixon or Matt Trown, because they scored Who Hired This Idiot, where both of them lost their Mega Gargants on turn 1 of the last round. Hashtag awkward. So yeah. Other than that, players who actually look like they might win because they've got lots of points are Tavi Gain, who's running around with Skinkzilla, a giant skink, like we talked about. Cabbage with his Beast of Chaos. And then Alex Tubb with a mixed destruction list. So a Mangler Squig, a Mega Gargan, a Mega Boss, and a Maw Crusher. Yeah, all sorts of good stuff. So yeah, anyway, that's it. I think the boys are ready for me to stop rambling at you. And we're going to go back because probably lots of stuff is dead. But it was already dead, so it doesn't matter. So here you go, back to the booth.
Wait, Owen Jackson there, what a legend. It's me and Dan Unsupervised bringing you this hot game of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. A narrative game between a unit of Soulblight vampires and, of course, some Flesh Eater Courts. The two allied Mega Gargants in here. You got the Gargant Gatebreaker eyeing each other up. Bud is the bottom hand one, and the top one is Lapis von Stein. First turn, we saw the Flesh Eater Courts move up and start dancing in the middle of the board, and then the Blood Knights were like, we do not like dancing. We haven't danced since Bella gave dancing. Up Jacob.
And if your friends don't dance, Rob, they're no friends of mine.
Exactly.
So they murdered them immediately, violently, swiftly, and I want to say painfully, but I think when it's that fast, you feel nothing.
Yeah, it was potent. There was already a moment of heartbreak. We did have the bachelors and the bachelorettes, different sides of the board, trying to reconquer their love and get back together. Unfortunately, they're never to be reunited, as the bachelors faced off a ghoul charge from Deep Strike, fended them off and murdered them in close combat, which was smart. However, the bachelorettes thought, I could do that too. On the other hand, at the other flank, charged in and was smoked by some crypt ghouls. So we are now into the priority roll. As you can see, the first thing that happens is this battle plan. It's like shifting objectives, only it blows you up. So now it's moved into the center, and it's going to blow some people up. And it does mean that objective was scored. 3 victory points was scored by the Soul Blight. Going into the priority roll, Dan, who do you think needs it the most?
Absolutely. We would love to see, I think, Flesh Eater Courts, because they need to get some bodies on the board. However, let's remember that you only score at the end of the battle round. So even winning priority, you may almost want to give it away just to make sure you have the last word before the points hit the board.
Agreed. However, unfortunately, the priority roll has actually gone to the Soul Blight. So this brick of 15 Blood Knights can go where they wish. This Mega Gargant with Gatebreaker is off to the races. Of course, there is not much on the left-hand flank apart from this Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon. And the Flesh Eater Court's really struggling here to put any threats down, is probably the best way of saying it.
I think the big threat is going to be from whoever's Mega Gargant hits the other Mega Gargant first.
Yes.
That's going to be the meaty thud that kind of echoes around. And I'm keen to see it. I want to see what goes into what. I would love to see a Mega Gargant go into those Black Knights. I think if it goes the other way and the Black Knights go into the Mega Gargant, we're in for a horror show of epic proportions for whichever that poor Mega Gargant gets hit. And just while we're talking about them, Rob, is it possible that this entire event was just a guerrilla marketing campaign for Undergargants? Because some might say that we've constructed this entire situation to sell underwear, and I, if that is
hold on to your pants, boys.
We are far smarter than we appear to be. And for those who aren't aware, you can get your Honest Wargamer branded underwear, known as Undergargants, that the world has been demanding for quite some time. It's probably the smartest
advertising ploy we've ever done. Also, coming up with the tagline, hold on to your pants, boys, I'm going in, is the tagline of the pants. You're only actually allowed to say that sentence if wearing the pants. So do get them if you want them. They're available on our store, which is the Honest Wargamer store. I think that's what you search for in Google. I don't know. I think you can type merch in the chat. Let's do this.
All right, where are we going next? That's the big question. I mean, will the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon do something is the other thing we want to know.
One Mega Gargant running off. It's because Danny, he's trying to do the death grip. He's trying to get his Gargant goal and get that death grip going on that Abhorrent Ghoul King. That's one of the harder ones to achieve ultimately. The Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon seems to be making a different choice. He seems to be going after the other Mega Gargant, Bud. He's also buffed up. He's got +3 move. He's got re-roll hits, and he's also got +3 to charge. Interesting to see whether or not we see these Blood Knights move. Maybe their plan is to just hold the objective, or delete everything on this side of the board, like all of these guys.
I think, given how many objectives require Mega Gargants, I'd be inclined to just leave my Blood Knights to hold the objective and let my beautiful Lapis run around, smash some face, and try to score those Mega Gargant achievements.
Yeah, it's a bit of a quick one, this one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to... this priority roll has seemed pretty clutch. Some people talk about the double turn. I don't think that's really much of the issue. I think maybe it's the 400 to 500 points Dayton didn't deploy on the board at the start of the game was kind of a key a key swing. I'm not it's not the focal point of the issues in the tactics here, but I would say, Dan, that it's worth mentioning at least.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the most important things when you are a blood-crazed, meat-frenzied madman is making sure that you have enough people for the blood-crazed meat frenzy. And I think that we were short roughly a quarter of the army in that regard.
Yeah, we didn't get everything that we needed, really, from this army, but that's okay. There's still fun to be had. Watching these 15 Blood Knights literally rock'em sock'em over an entire army is kind of hilarious. They doing nothing but horrific work.
I know, Rob, that they did absolutely awful things to the 40 ghouls, but these 10 ghouls here on the flank that we're looking at right now, they are the ones that killed the bachelors. So now, they took Romeo from us.
You are right. And ultimately, one of the main reasons these Blood Knights were able to do so well into the unit of 40 ghouls earlier was because they've only got that 6-up save. Well, Dan. They are up against it now when they fight these Crypt Horrors. They are tanky. They are big. They are strong, and they can fight. And I know what you're thinking, Rob, what is their save? Their save is a 5-up, so they will be getting a save. They will be getting a save. This Mega Gargant has rolled an 11-inch charge, but interestingly has blocked up the Blood Knights, I think, from making enough. Or maybe they could sneak some through here to get into these horrors. But the horrors, like I've said, will get some save. Another thing we talked about, Dan, is those Blood Knights. They get an extra pip of save, so you go from a 4-up to a 3-up. If they're up against a unit that has got no rend. And unfortunately for the Crypt Horrors, they don't have any rend.
They've got a bit of extra damage. They got no rendity rend. The other thing is that these lovely little Crypt Horrors here, I wonder if they're going to be close enough to cop the impact hits from the Mega Gargant.
Oh. So the impact hits from the Mega Gargant was indeed a 4. So not enough to kill the Abhorrent the Abhorrent Ghoul King here, taking him down to 2. I don't think he went into the Crypt Horrors. Oh, the Knights have unfortunately successfully made their charge, Dan. I actually don't know if they can even fail their charge, which is a bit of a drama.
I think that we're going to see these Knights rampage across the mortal realms, or at least Ghur, for the next few minutes. Nothing can slate their lust for stabbing things with a lance. The only question is
stabbing.
Who is going to stab with a lance first? The Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon or the 15 Blood Knights?
They're gonna have a tough time. There's no way around it, Dan. It's a tough time to be these ghouls or these Crypt Horrors. The Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon, though, has made the charge into the Mega Gargant. This is the only combat that might go Dayton's way. Ultimately, Dayton, mainly a 40k player, really showing us what he's made of in this situation here.
Probably hoping for some bolt guns and some power armor right about now.
That's what he needs. That's what he needs. And Speckles in the chat saying, I'm loving watching Flesh Eater Corpse get a kick in. There is no way I am unbiased as a commentator. I'm as emotionally uninvested as any true commentator should be. And I just think it's fun to watch this, the Soulblight army, bit of an underdog really in the Age of Sigmar scene, doing so well. Those Blood Knights, horrifically expensive financially, but also super cool. A unit of like blessed. In fact, Dan, let's read the story on the Blood Knights because it's super worth doing.
Well, while you grab that, I'll let people in on a way to trigger people who own Blood Knights, because they often invest so much in the models because they are so expensive and they're beautiful, detailed models. So it takes a lot of time to paint them up and make them look good. If you then turn around and tell them that they could have just put vampire heads onto Black Knights or used old elf dragon princes and just painted them up in black and red, you will upset them to a level that is usually like meant for courtrooms. Yeah. They will be very, very furious and unhappy with you.
Although Dan, we've got to be so excited about the new Gravelords range coming sometime soon, right?
The releases we saw, they look cool.
They did look super cool. Okay, so we're just finding out what's happened right now. I think the who's taken? Oh, the Mega Gargant against the Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon has taken 14 damage of his 35 wounds. So he's still got 21 wounds left. So he's still going to be able to get it with me, chat. Slap back, I think is the official way of saying that. So the Crypt Horrors are piling into those Blood Knights now. The Blood Knights are undead cavaliers, are a vision of martial glory, bedecked in crimson armor and wielding furiously ornate weapons. The Blood Knights strike the enemy line with bone-cracking force. We've seen that. Nightmarish steeds crushing the foes beneath their stamping hooves, even as their vampiric riders open throats or remove heads with every slice of their gleaming blades. Chilling stuff.
They're intense. They're very, very intense. You know, like the people that are really committed to one thing. Like I don't know how they'll always tell you about CrossFit. That's what they're like with just Blood Knightism. You know, like where I think ghouls are quite
people who film their squats and send them to you. Those people.
Absolutely. Yeah. People who go to the gym, take photos in the mirror. Where ghouls quite happy just to be ghouls. They'd love you to join them, but they don't need you to join them. Blood Knights need you to know who they are and how important they are. So they're probably always talking about how many reps they do, what their BPM is. I don't know why they would need you to know that, but anyway, that seems like them.
Oh, so we've just seen three Blood Knights died. That's actually really impressive. That's actually way
they didn't
more.
do too bad, yeah.
They did pretty well. That's way more than I thought that they were going to do. That's actually pretty great. So 3 Blood Knights dead from that unit, which means they're not going to quite get the 45 attacks they got previously. Still maybe not much of an issue because they've also got that support piece there in the Mega Gargant, who's not too far away. I do wonder
Rob, we call a Mega Gargant a support piece?
Yes.
That seems to be underselling the Mega Gargant a little bit.
I'm not trying to sell it, Dan. Like, I haven't tried at any point to sell it. No one hired me to sell this. Okay, so we heard about the attacks coming from the Blood Knights now. 8 Blood Knights going into the ghouls. 8 going into the horrors and 5 or 7 going into the ghouls, something like that. I'm not quite sure. But a lot of attacks coming in. We still have got to see this Mega Gargant slap back against the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon, who used to be a bit of a player in the Mortal Realms, Dan. He used to be a boy. You used to be scared of a Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon.
Well, and do you remember why you used to be particularly scared of a Vampire Lord?
The ethereal amulet.
Oh, the most common trinket that they were just giving out in every little tourist trap gift store in Shaiish.
Snow globes of the Mortal Realms.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like... right, however, they got a 3-up armor save. Because he's taken a special shield, obviously. So he's going to have those 14 wounds for a 3-up save. Will the Mega Gargant smash through him? Don't forget, he's also going to obviously have the Chalice of Blood, which means he's going to heal D6 once per game, but it's going to be in his hero phase. Ooh, here we go.
So the ghouls are gone. Revenge has been had for the Montagues.
Yeah, we'll find out.
The half into the crypt horrors. I think interesting when you see like the base sizes and the model size for the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon versus the Mega Gargant, where Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon 14 wounds and pretty much the same base size. Mega Gargant 35 wounds. So the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon did his own wounds worth of damage to the Mega Gargant. I'll be keen to see how many it does in return.
Yeah, it's got some pretty strong attacks. We'll see what's happened there. We've seen all the ghouls deleted. We're just waiting to see how the crypt horrors do. Don't forget, they are going to have that 6-up save, so they are going to smash it. Looks like these are the D3s, so not actually that much damage there. Oh no, maybe these are strike backs. These might be horses. Who knows? Oh, this is the damage from the lances now. So 7d3. Oh, only 6. Only 6. So they do d3. So they've got rubber lances, Dan. After the charge, not good. Not good.
Well,
damage goes down from. Oh wow! They only killed one horror and put one down to 1 wound. Dayton is in this now.
They unfortunately they wanted it. They just didn't want it enough.
Right, so the Abhorrent Art Regent, who is, let me tell you, he slaps into the for an on-foot level 2 cast wizard. He is a baller. Heals 3 a turn. He is going to smash this Mega Gargant, bringing him down. This is not Bud the Mega Gargant. This is, of course, Lapis von Stein, the Mega Gargant. I don't know what his... why would a vampire army hire a Mega Gargant? I think, Dan, is one of those questions.
Portable meal, I guess. Like it means that you've got them for the battle, and then afterwards you don't have to pay them. You just kill them. I think it's tactical. It's like, when you bring an esky full of food, and then after you've eaten the food, you just dump the esky. That's effectively what they're doing.
For anyone not Australian, an esky of food is a cold box, or a cold hamper is another way of describing it.
Or for my New Zealand friends, a chili bin.
A chili bin.
A chili bin.
They are such a collection of fuck nuggets, aren't they?
my favorite thing to call it. All right, I'm excited to see this Abhorrent Archregent try to scratch his way.
He's done 4 wounds, I think.
Good on him.
Oh no, he's taken 2. The Abhorrent Archregent has done 2 at this pace. I'm not sure he can kill him if he fights every combat for the next 4 combats. But he can try.
If he has 10 turns of combat without any like fighting back on the Mega Gargant's part, I think he'll get there in roughly 3 to 5 hours.
Okay, so the Mega Gargant is now slapping back, as they say, and he is splitting his attacks between the two different characters. Ghoul King is getting stomped. There's a crushing grip to come, and don't forget there's the flail as well, Dan. That big gatebreaker flail. And I think also, if I'm not mistaken, the reason the gatebreakers run over there is he abhors, loathes, detests the sight of a bunch of bricks stood atop each other, and that Flesh Eater Court piece of scenery, it looks like it's going to get a full gate breaking.
It's not long for this world. It's a chair made of bones stacked on top of each other. I believe he's probably just going to punt that chair off of the table. I would imagine.
He is. So Death Grip has missed, is what we've heard.
Oh,
we've heard Death Grip has missed. He hasn't used he's taken the Abhorrent Ghoul King, down to 1 wound with the stomps. And here
but not
comes...
finished him off.
Not finished him off. Here comes the flail. And I think all but one flail wounded. So this abhorrent art regent probably...
He's gone. He's so gone. He didn't even get a look at edgeways. He was too busy like giving a little golf clap to the abhorrent Ghoul King. He was like, "Hey, mate, that was actually good job for surviving there," and wasn't paying attention to the huge lump of masonry that just came down on top of his head.
Smashed his face to pieces, and he is out of there, unfortunately. So he's gone. Right, but now we have another Mega Gargant. He's against that Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon. This is the battle that we are here for, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're seeing right now. I would like to know in the chat, Dan, do you think the Mega Gargant is going to one-shot this Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon? That's the real question.
You better believe it. You better believe it. He's
in
there like swimwear. I feel the music in me and in him.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's why I think it. I feel it right in my nuggets, right in my waters. I feel that he's.
I need you to tell me what you think is going to happen. That's where I'm at. I need some big calls in the chat. I think he's going to live on one wound. So Death Grip has been failed. That's the first one. The Stomps play along. The Stomps have done 2 wounds. And now we're into the flail. This big old flail. The Mega Gargant.
Yeah, we've got some MGE, Mega Gargant energy going on.
Oh, baby. The flail is 10 attacks. Hitting on 4s. Wound on 3s. Ren 3. Flat 3 damage. So he's going to... So he saved 2 of the flail hits on 6s. And the Mega Gargant has done... and takes the other 6. So he's taken only 8 wounds, Dan. He's got 6 wounds left. Oh,
it's a perfect storm.
Oh, that's perfect. That is absolutely amazing. So they've done. So he stayed alive on 6 wounds. Who'd have thought it? Other than obviously everyone who's used these terrible models. But excited to see them on the tabletop in a fake life, not real life, of course. So, because Dan, unwounded, Mega Gargant, right, has got 10 attacks, but they hit on 4s, right, which means they're going to miss with half. That's 5s. That's 5. Yeah. They wound on 3s, so let's just take 1 out for fun. Yeah? So that means it's going to be 4. So that 4 and Ren 3 means you're probably not getting a save. So it does mean that they're going to do 12 damage to like a 4-up wound guy. However... The Ghoul King, and there's a reason he's a king. Yeah, that's it. You go, my king. On 1 wound left, fought the Mega Gargant, and he's done 5 wounds.
He's not a regent. He's not a regent. He's He's
not an earl. He's not a duke. He's not even a prince. He's a full-powered king, and he has just done 5 wounds to that Mega Gargant there. And it's nice to see. I don't think he's going to live particularly long after this.
I think he's if he hangs around for another turn in this combat, he's not going to be there and looking quite so chipper. However, you know what he could do? Okay, Rob. Great.
Oh no! So we've just heard that unfortunately the Mega Gargant got to do a final attack into the Ghoul King, and he has taken his final wound, and he is gone.
So he smashed the king, smashed the regent, and then smashed his big chair that he sits on.
Yeah, and then he's also smashed. Yeah, he's destroyed this piece of terrain at the same time, getting himself another Gargant goal. So Fleshy Court's up against it going into their turn 2. They've obviously got this Vargolf Courtier here. All of the buff pieces that would have buffed him are unfortunately dead. The Crypt Horrors are in this fight with these Blood Knights. They're a little bit in a better position now because the Blood Knight charge is over. And then the Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon fighting the other Mega Gargant. So, lots to play for both factions, but it looks like it's going the Soul Blight's way.
Rob, can we talk about something here? Remember, you score at the end of the battle round,
You do.
not at the end of your turn. Currently, the primary objective in the middle here, there's nothing holding it. So one Mega Gargant, one retreating Crypt Horror, one big flappy Vargulf, anything that gets over there, it only needs to just stand within a tippy pinky toe of that objective to make it theirs. So much as I never want to say the Mega Gargant Gatebreaker should retreat, he only needs to dip a toe in to score that objective.
But he should retreat. Dan, you're so right. He should retreat, is what we're seeing. And he does. He needs to go score those 3 points. He's down 3 points right now. That Mega Gargant, obviously convincing the Mega Gargant to leave the fight with the puny vampire and run away. That's going to be a tough call. I think that is going to be a hard sell, ultimately. But he might run away. He might go and grab that objective.
He might get out of here.
The problem is then, I mean, if he gets the priority roll, he then could end up in the back of these Blood Knights and start smashing them to pieces as well. Turn the tides, as they say. That'd be fun to see.
Love to see that.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see if that happens. I guess I think we're into Flesh Eater Court's turn now.
Yes.
With Battle Shock sounding. Not much to do in the hero phase, you're right. That Vargulf Courtier can go into these Blood Knights and start pinning them in, which is a good call. Other than that, really, are we going to see, as you said, the Gatebreaker run away? If not, that's a pretty major piece that's going to leave the board, Dan.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be going for a little walk and thinking about what he's done as he becomes a gigantic meal.
Yes. Also, a question as to whether or not the Vargulf generated any horrors in, and I don't think he has. Did the Vargulf even charge? Timor? No, he's just sitting there looking to heal up this unit of Crypt Horrors, Dan. I think
Rob,
that's what
we're into combat, which means that the Gatebreaker Mega Gargant, while in a perfect position to run off and score the objective, instead decided to beat on the brat of the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon.
There is no way, if there is a Vampire Lord in front of me, that I am not going to try and crushing grip him to death if I'm a Gargant. Okay, so they've just remembered the shooting phase. They quickly did that, and the rock from the Mega Gargant thrown at the Vampire Lord, and that has done 4 damage there. 4 damage.
Well, everyone, yeah, as our wonderful table boss just mentioned, throwing the Dwayne the Rock Johnson at anyone is going to hurt them, mostly because not only is the Rock quite a large and intense man, but I imagine he aggressively punches you as he hits you. So it's about being hit by a rock and also the rock hitting you. It's an intense, like, 1-2 punch, which is probably why it did 2 wounds to the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon.
He is suffering massively. He's limping. He's down to 2 wounds. And he is about to get smacked again by the Mega Gargant. However, the horrors are fighting first, so that does mean the Vampire Lord will get to swing. That's interesting. These Blood Knights doing a lot less damage now. Yes, they've got 3 attacks each, but they are, instead of doing damage D3, they're now just doing damage 1. However, the horrors are fully healed back up. All of the horrors are back in, all 6. They don't have Rend. They don't have Rend. They don't have Rend, so they are going to be against a 3-up save. So the Blood Knights get to improve. They get to improve their save by 1. However, they've been feeding Frenzy, Dan, so they're terrifying now. Fight twice. Unfortunately, the first round of combat, they did 0 damage. However, that doesn't mean that they're going to be slowed down. And
no, they've a second, sometimes twice as nice. Second time lucky.
Second time lucky. They don't have Rend on their attacks, the Crypt Horrors, which is pretty rough, which is what's giving that +1 save to the Blood Knights, which is what's making them so survivable. And they also hit on 4s, which is a bit rough as well, because you don't need that.
And that they're supposed to...
Okay, so that's not bad. You know, they've attacked twice, so effectively they've had 12 Crypt Horrors fight the Blood Knights, and they've killed 2 Blood Knights.
Crypt Horrors, not the best.
That's
Actually,
that's mainly because of their points in their rules, though, not any other reason.
No, only because of what they are and how they operate in the game of Warhammer. Other than that, they're fine.
Really good, arguably. Other than that, that does mean though that the Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon, oh baby, he's only got 2 wounds left though, Dan. That's not going to be enough.
He's not got much, and as Mr. Bromley in the chat points out, if that king is still near them, they get to reroll to hit. Unfortunately, both the regent and the king just smeared into raspberry jam by the Mega Gargant. Not one turn hence. So no king for them to worship. They've had to strike out on their own as questing knights now.
Yeah, so here's the combat, the combat of dreams. We'll see. We'll hear from our table boss in a moment what's going to happen. Not a lot. 2 wounds left on the Vampire Lord. The Mega Gargant has taken, if I got this right, 17 wounds left. So far, he's taken another 11 wounds. He's down to 10 wounds left, and I think that's it.
With the Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon in his bottom tier, my God.
Yeah, well, no, don't forget, they do have the command ability in the realm of Ghur to fight at the top bracket. I don't know.
Oh, of course.
I don't know if he's used that. I don't know if he's used it, but he's done really well. And the Mega Gargant, so that's okay. The Mega Gargant is down to 8 wounds left. Dan.
Ooh.
Oof.
Oh.
But he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He could use that command ability from the realm of beasts to fight at the top bracket. If he remembers, he might not. He might. It depends if he wants to use it. We'll hear from our table boss if it has. Don't think it has though. So no, he's got no command points to do that. So the death grip has been failed, Dan.
Yeah.
It's just stompy feet and the flail. Do you think the Vampire Lord's going to survive? You was keen last time on him being dead.
Look, I want to see him down. I want to see him down and out. And you were saying that, Rob, you're very balanced and fair when it comes to like your commentary. I, on the other hand, I will turn around like a shopping trolley. In that I will be biased towards what I want to see go down, and I'm not disappointed to see Flesh Eater Courts die. But a Vampire Lord on a Zombie Dragon, I'm still emotionally scarred from all of those things running around with ethereal amulets. So I'm quite happy to see it die.
Dan, he needs to make 3 5-up. Oh, he didn't do it. 3 5-up saves. So he was on 1 wound left. So he has taken 9 damage in total. He is so dead. Out he goes.
Been lifted, shifted, higher than the ceiling. Flappy Bat, how you get so high? And the answer is, I was king hit by a Mega Gargant's flail and set into the stratosphere.
he's been gone. So both Mega Gargants still alive. However, this Mega Gargant on the right, belonging to the Flesh Eater Courts, has only got 8 wounds left. The other Mega Gargant has still got 26 wounds of its 35 left. And it can pile in an attack over the top into those Crypt Horrors. And we've still got the Blood Knights. The Blood Knights who can activate as well. While we hear this okay, we will get that. It's interesting. There's the Rob's Dead pile over here. There's a lot going on. This will be quick. It says my wife. Interesting little points. Please no. This is dead. And apparently there's also a beer counter on the board, which belonging to Dayton is up to 3. And it's 10 a.m. And it's a Goat Panties. Thank you very much for subscribing. Oh my God, Goat Panties. It's still my beating heart. Thanks for subscribing to the channel.
Tomb King Tristan in the chat asking what kind of Tim Tams you should buy, original, caramel, dark chocolate, or double coat. Original or double coat. Caramel are delicious, but you want to go original or double coat to suck warm milk through like a chocolatey straw. Jesus. We don't even really eat penguins over here anymore in England. We just get... if you're poor, you just get like a small Ziploc bag of some old lettuce
is our main food source nowadays, Dan.
Is that since Brexit and the rest of Europe closing all the borders to you, you guys have to go back to boiling your boots for food?
And cabbages, and mainly cabbages, which is why I love objective markers. Can't wait to do our objective marker show tomorrow on Monday night. I think we're doing Chaos and Order, are we not?
We are.
Chaos and Order, very exciting. However, in this combat, we've seen 2 Crypt Horrors go down already, 4 more to go. Whoa, okay, so 5 of the 6. We're down to 1 Crypt Horror. Okay, listen, it's not looking good.
It's not great.
It's not great. Belonging to the Flesh Eater Courts is... Oh, no, that Crypt Horror's gone as well. There's just a Vargulf, actually, Dan. Going into turn 3.
Yep, that and look, on one side Vargulf, the other side Mega Gargant. So that is a pretty intense sandwich to be in the middle of. Unfortunately, the meat in this sandwich is pretty intense itself, being that it is a unit of 10 Blood Knights and a more alive Mega Gargant. I think I would love to see some Gargant on Gargant action.
I mean, we haven't had it yet. I mean, look, those Gatebreakers, when they get into it, they slap, right? Yeah, the Mega Gargants can smash, really. These Gatebreaker versions, at least, can do pretty well if they roll to hit. And if you haven't made them minus to hit in any way, is kind of a key problem for them. Cheeky Geminids is just as good as a Mega Gargant, I'd say, in some cases.
Absolutely.
But if they do get it through, that Ren 3 is a massive. It's this Vargulf Court here. Is it the Vargulf? No, I don't think it is. It's not a smash bat, unfortunately. It's just a regular bat. Not that bats are irregular, and of course, all hail Shakaka. But this particular bat is weak. I love that film.
So I think we saw the priority roll, but I have no idea how it played out.
Our team boss is letting us know. Don't worry.
I would hope that whichever way it goes, we're going to see some flailing, some stomping, some death gripping at each other. I just love the idea of the 2 Mega Gargants running at each other and then playing grabby hands with their death grips and being like, I got you now. I'm going to give you such a pinch.
Okay, so Soul Blight in the objective is staying in the middle. So the frond of spiders which do mortal wounds around you and infect you with the soul crust of mortal wounds in the center here is staying, and the Soul Blight, who won the priority, have given the turn away, and this Mega Gargant finally decided to start playing objective-based Warhammer, a bold choice there, and has moved directly towards the objective. There we go. And then now looking for what can only be described as a long bomb charge in here.
Yeah, interesting that he's gone that way instead of just going straight into the Mega Gargant down the bottom and just trying to pull down his trousers and reveal his undergargants. Standing on the objective, I think, just means he's going to get charged by 10 stabby, angry Blood Knights.
It's going to be a rough time. Those Blood Knights are going to do some pretty great work, especially on the charge, but maybe what he's going to do is he's going to pin him in with the Vargulf at the top there. As we can see, that Vargulf has moved around. He might try and pin this in, lock that unit, and keep that Mega Gargant alive. That does stop the Blood Knights, but it doesn't really do much to stop the other Mega Gargant, who just alone is going to do some mortal wounds on the charge. So that's a tough time. Twitch chat, who do you think is going to take this battle out? It's currently 5 points to 0 on the objectives. That's super important. And the Blood Knights, or the Soul Blight Mega Gargant, has actually done a smashing job of securing his Gargant goals.
And which Gargant do you think is going to die first? That's the one that I'm interested in too.
The one in the middle.
I think the one in the middle is going to die for sure, but whether it dies first, that's what I'm interested in.
Yes, he's going to. I think he's so going to die first, right?
Well, I mean, he might get a 12-inch charge into this other Mega Gargant, and suddenly, who knows where the marbles are falling
Interesting. Okay.
onto the Mega Gargant in the middle. That's where they're falling. There's no way he survives this battle.
He is never going to financially recover from this Mega Gargant loss. The only thing I can think.
Did he throw his rock? Because I want to see the Mega Gargants having a snowball fight.
I think he is about to. We'll find out if he did. I was going to say. Oh, so the Varghulf did charge in and did hit this Blood Knight and has killed one. So he has pinned this. So that's so far apparently. The other thing I was going to say, Dan, is maybe this has all been a strategic and narrative ploy. Maybe the Flesh Eater Courts have intentionally hired the Mega Gargant so that he dies, and then they can resurrect his body and turn him into a Mega Ghoul.
Ah, right. Yep.
That's the only thing I can think.
I mean, it's plausible. Does it seem likely? I don't know. But I would be more inclined to think that they brought the Mega Gargant intending him to be a smorgasbord / buffet of internal organs post-battle. And
nice.
Which he absolutely is. Don't get me wrong. He's about to die. But unfortunately, none of them are alive to enjoy the buffet. They are part of the buffet itself, which is it's quite a common phrase in the mortal realms. You either die a buffet or live to see yourself become the all-you-can-eat salad bar.
You either eat the buffet or you are the buffet.
Yeah,
Welcome to the mortal realms. It's very food-based and without over insight.
You're either above the sneeze guard or underneath the sneeze guard. Just like all of the best sizzlers in the world.
Well, exciting to see this battle commence. Don't forget, there's another game later on at British time, 7 o'clock. So that is going to be in an hour and 45 minutes. You're going to be able to see an hour and 45 minutes, hour and a half. So wherever your local time is. So at the end of the Flesh Eater Court's turn there, they've killed that one Blood Knight. Not the most successful, but you know, they've got some room here. The Mega Gargant Gatebreaker could potentially take some could die to a thrown rock and some impact hits before we see him die to anything else, which is pretty bold. So we've tried to get Vile Transference off from the Vampire Lord. He failed it, so that's interesting. And then we have seen that Gatebreaker going to the other Gatebreaker. The Bachelorettes, or Bachelors, sorry, still on the board, still looking to go and claim that objective. They've gone for a big long run, but they haven't made it. I don't think they've run, they've just moved and they're going to charge.
And it does look like we're about to see some Gargant on Gargant action.
It's all we've ever wanted.
It's all I wanted.
So it's 26 wounds versus 8. Yeah, it's Rocky Balboa versus the Beast from the East, Dolph Lundgren. And here we go. None of these two are cool enough to be Apollo Creed, so I'm just saying that.
No, fair enough. Absolutely.
They could be these guys. And they're in it. Who do you think is going to win, Dan?
I know, again, what we want to say is that the one that has almost 4 times his wounds, more than 4 times his wounds after copping a rock to the face, I realize this is it's a David versus Goliath versus Goliath kind of moment that we're having here, but I still believe
that it could happen. As Dan said, the rock in the shooting phase has done 4 damage. The charge has done an additional 2 mortal wounds, so it is now a Gatebreaker on 1 wound left versus another Gatebreaker on 26 wounds. He just has to happy feet this, and as you can see on the right here, you think these are Chalice of Ushrans. These are actually beer counters for one of our players. He's keeping them on the board. Excited to see how his round 3 goes.
So the Gatebreaker Mega Gargant, I believe, is down to 3 wounds now. 2 wounds. Sorry,
2 wounds.
2 wounds. So he's only got 13 times more wounds than the other one. The truest of underdog stories. Um, I I'm starting, Rob. I hate to admit it. I'm starting to lose faith. Just right now, starting to lose faith.
Yeah, me too. Me too a little bit. I'm not 100% certain the Mega Gargant's going to live. We're going to see here now if he is going to live. But... the Mega Gargant that is attacking first, the one belonging to the Soul Blight, not Fleshy Quartz, has activated the ability to reroll ones to hit as well, which is going to hopefully help. If I had any CP, I'd probably try reroll ones to save on... Oh, no, he's gone. he's so dead.
He was sucked into a vortex and spat out the other side.
Two Gargant players must have the best time. Just okay, all right. Listen, it was a great game. We've all had a great time. The Blood Knights have done really well. Again, Dayton would have done a great sight better if he had put all of his army on the board, I feel. But ultimately, maybe a mismatch, Dan? What do you think? Or do you think it was just a good story told and everyone had a great time?
I think it was two people who wanted to smash face and enjoy their Mega Gargants, and that's exactly what we got. Now, unfortunately, the Flesh Eater Courts were relying on, I believe, the Mega Gargant to do the vast majority of the work, given that the rest was ghouls and the woefully ineffective crypt horrors. So as opposed to flayers. So I think I think the Gargant had his work lined up for him, and unfortunately he was contracted on by the government by the day, not by the hour. So he had no reason to work hard, and unfortunately he ended up paying the price for that.
It's one of the unfortunate things about being a contract worker in the Mortal Realms. There isn't a lot of OSHA standards. As we know, There's not. I don't think there's a Gargant union yet, which is something we'd obviously like to get put in place as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when you're played in, I don't even know if they're paid in doubloons. I think they're paid in Aether Gold, which is actually a bit of a problem. One thing Games Workshop don't want people to know, and the narrative, something they've tried to hide quite a bit, it's actually super easy to replicate and counterfeit Aether Gold. It's really, most people don't know this, but it's just made of rock, just really regular, normal rock. They just call it Aether Gold. There's
and that's like in the realm of fire and the realm of life. Their main source of currency is Aqua Gyranus, which is just water. It's just which is easy. My gosh, turn the tap on, you're a millionaire.
It's really easy. Like there's a big conspiracy about it. I don't want to get into it too much. The Aqua Gyranus conspiracy theories are rife, but we won't talk about it too much. Anyway, over to me and Dan. Hello, we're your casting team, and we've had a great time. Dan, you more interested in picking up a Mega Gargant or not?
I'm more interested after watching this in playing with a Mega Gargant against someone else who's playing with a Mega Gargant. Do I need to invest the money in one? The answer is in the negative. Only because they're not great.
Unfortunately.
Mm.
But that's the only real reason.
I mean,
go on,
Corn Dragon, maybe. Mega Gargant, bit expensive for what he does.
Let's talk about one of the great things that informs our game, though. Obviously, today, not being a match play game, it's a match play game. Like at the end of the day, they're playing the scenario, they're building armies properly, the whole thing. But I think one of the things that I don't think we miss it. Like you and I have covered and done coverage of games where obviously the tactics has been as important as the story to us, and sometimes the story has lived on beyond the tactics, right? Orc stairs at Rock. The Nagash that would never die, and obviously #Team Allen. There's loads of stories that can come out of match play events, but really the storytelling side of the game is so important, right?
Yeah. Oh, and look, for me, that's a big part of the joy of it. I love when you're playing a game and you find those stories inside of it, and if you can have a competitive game of War Dollies that also has all of that fun and joy and kind of like that those little moments, that's just truly the best part.
It is. It is. It is. And and I think that's something to remember in all of your games for people watching at home. Like whenever we do get back to gaming properly, or if you're using TTS, which is a super valid way of playing, I think one of the things that I never want to try and forget, if possible, is that there is an underpinning story. Be that the players playing, be it the armies, and I think Owen's done a great job here. And something I'd like to see at future events in real life as well is I like that the battle plan had a story. You and me quite like that when we were talking about it, and also that there was like an obvious setting, which I think is cool as well. I think the Realms do an okay job of that. I'm not saying that there should be extra rules, but at least understanding the place you're battling in is a great story element.
Yeah. Oh, and it also, the thing that I really love about this event too is that yes, that we're using match play points and all of that jazz, and that's insane amounts of fun. But the cool thing is that when you know you're fighting in Ghur, when you know that everyone's taking a big boy, it means that you can build a list around that story, which means that both players are coming to the game excited for story, and I love that.
Me too. Now, a story that's been ongoing for the past several years is my ever-growing deep affection for Mr. Owen Jackson. It's a story as old as time now that I could write, but I won't yet because I don't think the story's over. Nor do I think the story of the event that we are currently covering, the Titans of Ghur, is over either. We have matches going on that aren't just this one match, and maybe some greater stories to learn. So Owen is now going to tell us right now what's been happening at the rest of the event in all these other brackets, and we're going to go to him right now. Over to you, Owen.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Dan. Yes, everyone's having a great time, but I think that my skills as a TO may be coming into question now because these bloody Gargant goals are so difficult to achieve. There's not a plethora of Gargant goals happening. I think more of what's happening is the usual suspects are persisting. So in the game on table 4, Tavi Gain, he's brought Seraphon, so you know that says all you need to know about Tavi as a person. But he's got Skinkzilla, which is great. But Skinkzilla's just sat at the back of the board like a little cheerleader. And it turns out that Engine of the Gods obviously never brought in a normal Seraphon army, but still completely OP because the same Engine of the Gods has now killed 2 Mega Gargants, one in each of the 2 games. I think he just did 18 wounds in one activation. So yeah, Seraphon OP, regardless of what realm, what the tournament structure is, whatever. In another one, though, Charlie's Mega Gorgon, it managed to womp some salamanders. So 3 salamanders went down to the death axe of the Mega Gorgon. That was fun to see. And we have had the first of the Oprah charges has been given out. So somebody's gone in. It's Alex Tubb with his mixed destruction. His Mega Gargant went in, did 3 mortal wounds to each of 3 units, dished it all out, got himself a sweet Gargant goal, and he's the only one in the tournament to have done that so far. Other than that, it's mainly coming in hot, which seems to be scored quite a bit. Getting that 6 on the mortal wounds on the charge. I've had several players do that. But a lot of players, when I go to them, it's like, right, so how you doing with the Gargant goals? Fucking silence. Not a word. Not a peep, not a peep out of them. I think the word progress has been mentioned a couple of times because there are ones that you score gradually over time. But yeah, not a huge amount of hot Gargant action, and maybe that's down to the pack. It looks pretty, it's got fun names, but nobody can actually do any of the goals. So anyway, that's I've made a note there on my note to do better. I just need to do better. Yeah, with that, I think I'm going to pass you back to the lads one last time. I hope everyone's had fun watching. It's been great fun putting it all together. So yeah, I'll pass you back to 2 Gargants in my heart. It's Dan and Rob. See you later, boys.
What a gorgeous man!
I know, right?
And I love that theme, do better, because I've just written that down on my notepad just as a life goal, and I have a feeling that a number of the ghouls probably had that written down on just in blood on their forearm, just as a reminder for next battle. Do better
I agree.
because they did well at being stabbed by lancers. Not normally something you want to be known for, though.
No, that's a bad thing to be known to be good at. I wrote something down on my notes as well, which takes us away from to the end of the show. Dan, thanks for having on the show. I wrote this
pleasure.
down on my notes, just so you guys can see. It's okay, you don't have to see it. That's what I put. Big love heart to Dan. So you guys, you're brilliant. Thank you. Big shout out also to Matt, our table boss, the unsung hero of doing the coverage. You're great. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Don't forget to join us again at 7 o'clock. So it's about an hour and a half's time is when the next match will start. You're all brilliant. Thanks for listening. Loads of love. See you soon. Join us for the next match. It'll be some Gargants, and hopefully it's as quick as the last game. See you guys soon and have a great day.